Hey, Motorman here. Well, I told you, Sunday you'd get to see which bike I got, and that's what I'm about to show you, so pay attention. So, alright folks, here it is. This is the Kawasaki Z900 RS, otherwise known as the nostalgia version of the Z900. It is 948 cc's. 4-cylinder inline, of course, putting out about, depending on who you talk to, somewhere between 100 and 110 horsepower, weighs 475 pounds, which with 100 horsepower at 479 pounds should be pretty quick. Looking very much like the original Z1. The only giveaway really is this radiator. Of course, the original ones were air-cooled. The reason I chose this bike is, first of all, it's got plenty of power, lots of lean angle, comfortable seating position. That's the main thing for me. You want to be comfortable. You're on the track, you're wearing that suit, which is very uncomfortable, so you don't want to also have an uncomfortable riding position. This is much more upright than the standard Z900 or an out-and-out sports bike, and that's why I chose this. In addition, the price was right. I found a motivated buyer. This is a 2021. There is no change between 2021 and the 2023. And let me show you the miles on this. 2,969 miles. The bike is practically brand new. You've got the miles per hour, beautiful round gauge like the older bikes, tachometer, and you also have in the middle here the fuel gauge. Tells you if you're in neutral and what gear you're in. Let's see what else it'll tell you. You have two modes, traction control modes. You've got two, which is the most interventionist. You got one, a little less intervention, and then you have off. So you can decide if you want to do wheelies. I guess you want to shut the thing off. That's not my thing, but there's some people like that kind of stuff. So it looks nostalgic, but yet you have some modern amenities. ABS is standard on this motorcycle. And the look is just perfect. If you like nostalgic looking motorcycles of the 70s, and I do, and I think it looks really good. And we're going to go take it for a ride right now. All right, let me first say that one of the reasons I got this bike, in addition to the comfortable upright seating position, is this particular bike has the Ivan Flash. If you're not familiar with Kawasaki's, when you let off the throttle, it basically shuts off the ignition, and then when you get back on the throttle, turns the ignition back on. Now, I'm saying that in a plain way, but basically that's what happens. That causes abrupt on-off throttle movements, which are not good for anything. Why Kawasaki does that on just about all their motorcycles, I couldn't tell you, but they do. And they've been doing it for many years. No other manufacturer seems to have that issue with on-off throttle, but Kawasaki does. So that's I don't know, about 250 bucks. You got to send the computer off to Ivan, and then he flashes it, does a great job. Everybody loves what he does, and the bike runs as it should from the factory. Plus it gives you a little bit more horsepower, runs a little bit richer, and it's all around better. So that was one of the reasons I picked this particular bike. In addition to it was priced right. Let's face it. Like I said, this bike new is just about $14,000 out the door. That's when you add the surcharge and freight, and then tax tag, title, and then whatever $1,000–1,500 the dealer puts on top of that. So I paid a little more than half that for this motorcycle. It was priced right, and I think it's going to fit exactly what I want to do with it, which is some around town stuff, maybe even longer rides, 100 mile, 150. I might take this to Daytona, which I should mention I'm going to be over in Daytona Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. I'm going to start at the Speedway. I'll be over there taking some video, meeting and greeting people. I'll have some swag with me. Then I'll take a ride up Main Street and then head over to destination Daytona and walk through there. So that's my plans for Daytona. Now, as far as this bike, like I said, I wanted a bike that was suitable for track use. I got that $900 custom-made leather suit, and I don't want that to go to waste. But this bike should fit that purpose. It's plenty fast. I got over 100 horsepower. With the Ivan Flash, it might add another 5 or 6 to it. So it's somewhere around 105, 110 to the rear wheel. And I mean to tell you, it's plenty fast. 475 pounds moved by 100 horsepower is a quick motorcycle. Now you might notice I put this deflector screen on here. I haven't adjusted it fully, but there's not much more adjustment I can do with it. So I'm probably going to get a different shield for it, but on the street I need a shield. If it's ultra windy, it's because now this air is going right in my face rather than blasting my face and body with no windshield. So the seating position, very comfortable, very upright. Actually, the bars could even come back a little bit further towards me, and that could be handled with some pullback risers. I plan on putting some frame sliders or crash bars on it, you know, just in case. And for you Harley diehards, you know, I thought about getting like a 975 Nightster, but it's only got 32 degrees of lean angle. It's got plenty of power, but that 32 degrees lean angle is no better than the touring motorcycles, which is plenty for the street, but you could use a lot more lean angle for the track. So I also thought about a Sportster S, but it's tough to find them used. In addition, they're a lot of money. Now they got a 34 degree lean angle, still not near as good as this bike, but probably adequate. But you know, money wise, try to find a used one, and even a used one you're going to pay 16, 15,000 for. So I didn't want to go crazy in case I do a few track days and decide, okay, that's it, I'm done. Then you got to sell the bike. So with the price I got this one for, if I decide to sell it in a few months, 6 months, a year, whatever, I'll probably get my money out of it, or real close. It's got plenty of travel in the suspension. That's probably one of the things that allows it such a nice, firm but very comfortable ride. Turns in really nice because you got a short wheelbase here. I think it's 57 inch wheelbase, something like that, 25 degree rake. It's a standard motorcycle on the sporty side. Very smooth. I hadn't been on a 4-cylinder bike in some years, and I can tell you they get kind of buzzy. High frequency vibration through the pegs and the grips especially, but this bike doesn't seem to have that problem. Very smooth motor, lots of power, handles nice, looks good, and you know what more could you want for a dual purpose bike like my dual purposes, which is doing some track days, maybe riding around town, stuff like that. So Kawasaki KZ900 RS. It fits my needs perfectly, and the price was right. So that's why I bought this particular motorcycle over dozens of others that I looked at.